Hello and welcome back to another episode of Coast Football Weekly. Fresh off a huge week at the Association Championships in Mudgee, where she led the Central Coast Under-15 Girls to a grand final. Welcome to the pod, Bell.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Now, coming off the back of a very successful tournament away in Mudgee last week, has it fully sunk in yet what you achieved with your squad?
Yeah, so when did we finish? Thursday?
Thursday was the grand final day?
Yeah, Thursday. Came home Friday from Mudgee, and basically I just chilled. My nervous system was a bit overloaded, to be honest, just from the whole week, or actually the month leading into it. So I just took a few days off just to chill and reset and get a bit grounded. Went for, a bit of a walk and did all that cool stuff, just to recover. Yeah,
we'll get to the grand final. But leading up to it, how did you feel when you were first selected as a coach?
Weirdly, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but I knew I was the one for the job. I knew I could do the job.
Yep.
So for me, it was probably more of a relief than anything. And it was pretty much all go for me, like in terms of planning and prep and so forth. Luckily, I've been in the youth space for a number of years, so I'm quite familiar with many of the players. I'm also, and I also know a number of coaches and the way that the players are playing and learning, etc. So I had that baseline to work off, and just from there, it was just more around prepping for the tournament, how we would want to play, who was going to support us in terms of the number of heads and etc. So obviously with Kobe as our goalkeeping coach, Steve, who came on board as well. I also kind of what would you call the word? What's the word? I integrated some of the Rams girls, the under 18s, to help out. Just with some of their training, etc. So, it's surrounding myself with the right people just to get the job done, basically. Yeah,
so you sort of knew what squad you wanted to build coming into it. It's probably hard, because you're going away for a tournament, right? You're playing a lot of games. What was sort of your main focus? Were you trying to pick on ability? Were you trying to pick on durability, making sure people would be able to play all the games? Because it is a hard one, right?
Yeah.
A lot of games in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's right. So my understanding is tournaments much different to league football. League football, there's complexity in terms of tactical arrangement, the type of players you need to manage a bigger squad over a certain amount of time, especially in the grassroots and community. You've got to take into account they've got work and other conflicting interests to deal with. Yeah, that's right. Whereas with tournament, it's a very short time to turn over, and within that short time it was very much around planning in terms of how we want to play, the type of squad that we wanted that would suit our game plan. And it made it difficult to choose, to be honest, but, and rightly so. We have here on the coast, we have so many good players, and it was so difficult for me. I kind of knew some of the profiles that I wanted, especially for the midfield, they had to be engines, basically. I wanted girls that were gangster, pretty much gangster, that were willing to take the hits and really drive hard the ball, win the ball back, and then transition really, really quickly. And then so lucky for me, there were quite a number of players that could do that. So when looking at the players as well, you're looking at players that can play multiple positions, who are versatile. So I had defenders who could play the midfield role. They had the skill set, but it was also about having the physical presence. Tora, sorry, I'm going to name drop now, but Tora, she was our engine. She was like a V8, man. She hummed that the midfield, and she put her body on the line, and you could probably see it in the grand final video or the grand final clips where she was just taking the hits all the time. So there were certain attributes I was looking for, and the physical presence and the resilience and putting your body on the line was one of them. There were others like speed and football intelligence, and that sort of thing I was looking forward to. I couldn't make all trials, but I was able to brief Steve, who was helping me. And it was good with Steve because he was aligned in terms of what we needed.
Yeah, and what you were after.
Yeah, that's right. So he was out there and he knew exactly what we were looking for, and he did a wonderful job. I wasn't there as well when we finalised the squad.
Yep.
I pretty much knew exactly what I wanted, and it was just him being able to follow the brief, and he did an amazing job doing that.
When the girls obviously come together for that first trial, how quickly did they bond? It's hard because they play against each other on the weekend, but now they're coming together for a tournament. Was there any sort of negativity within that at all, or they came together pretty much to do a job, which they achieved?
Yeah, great question. That's a really good question, mate, because for me, for tournament especially, culture is everything. And the reason why culture is everything is because we need the players to bond. And we need the players to connect. And if they're able to connect, then they will do unbelievable things. They will work magic in such a short amount of time. And so in terms of what they would do, under pressure, if they're connected, they will find a way to work for each other. And if we have a setback, for example, we did have a setback. One of the games we lost, we got pumped 4-0, I think it was, against Mallee. But it showed the bond within the girls. They had so much love and trust for each other that they were willing to come up against them again, which we did in the final, and just put everything on the line. And so for me, building the culture, it was an all-in culture. So I gave them 3 standards. So one of them was 100% commitment. You just go all in. And then the second thing was turn up on time, and respect. So respect each other's time, respect the officials, etc., which they did. And then the third thing was positivity. So being an encouraging teammate, and just positive engagement, basically. And with those 3 things, it was funny because when I gave the standards to the girls and the parents, because you've got to get the parents on board too,
everyone
right?
needs to buy in,
Yeah, that's right. So when I did give those standards, I knew we were onto something special because they clapped at the end.
Yeah, okay.
The girls clapped and they did a bit of a cheer.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty cool. So, in terms of getting the girls on board, the culture was everything. So, and they got in and we did the job.
Yeah, so leading up to the tournament, there was a few trial games. What did you make of those? Did you feel like you were in a good stead there, or was there some things that obviously needed to be tweaked leading up to the tournament, which you corrected?
Yeah, so we obviously had our game plan, and then it was more around implementing it and testing it against opponents, really, really good opponents too. And in our first trial game against Terrigal, we won quite a bit of ball in the midfield, in the mid third, which was great. So that was a big tick because that's exactly what we wanted. And then we just needed to work on transitioning forward and getting shots away. So in terms of the first trial, it was tick. I could see that it was working, and then in the trial game against the Mariners, I knew it was going to be tough.
Yeah, very tough.
They've got some big names, right? Like
especially
Sienna
girls who play together every week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. So they live and breathe football together as a collective. So I knew it was going to be really, really tough for our girls. I believe we were below maybe the double digits. I think it was like 6 or 7-0 or something. So that actually gave me confidence, knowing that we were able to
respond from a loss.
Yeah, that's right. In terms of coming back, right? Yeah. So I already had my speech ready in terms of, okay, girls, I know this is X, Y, Z, but I believe in you. I have my trust in you. I have trust in everything that we're doing. And it was more around just motivating them and giving them the sense of belief, because it would have been tough for them coming up against the Mariners, but that's why we play them, right? Just to get a benchmark in terms, or a baseline in terms of where we're at. It served its purpose, which was good.
Yeah, well, I feel like as a association as a whole, the players, the coaches, we didn't know really what to expect heading to Mudgee, right? It's the first year they run it, so you sort of don't know what the competition is going to be like. You sort of have a gauge of what associations are going to be stronger than others, and like Manly was strong in all grades, like we were. Leading up to that tournament, that first game, what were the nerves like, and how important do you think it was trying to getting that first win in their first game?
Yeah, good question. So for me, leading into it, I knew that preparation was key, being prepared and organised. So we, in terms of the planning and the organisation, we made sure that we had our set pieces done packed. I made sure that we had our penalty takers down packed. So we did a lot of, we got quite a few rounds of pen takers. And we also needed to get our defence down packed. So with those three things, if we were able to at least get close to where we needed it to be for our first game, then I knew we were going to be on a good thing. And then from there, it was just managing their emotions and feelings and just hyping them up, really, and just letting them go and fly, because we had already created an environment, right, where we knew exactly what we needed, and it was more around the girls just taking it on and just letting them fly within, their potential, etc. So for me, it was I knew the infrastructure was right. It was in place. The players were in place. They were on board. The parents were 100% on board as well. And so it was more around just managing how they were feeling and so forth. Luckily for myself, I have seen a number of associations. I've actually played in the Manly Warringah myself, but I've also coached against these type of teams, just in champions with ISA as well. And so I've been privileged enough to have seen what is out there in terms of talent. So I kind of had an idea in terms of what we were going up against. I knew that Manly was going to be, they're technically very good and they're very strong and they have a large pool. I also knew that Macarthur are very, very physical. My niece used to play down there, to be honest, so I saw quite a bit of them. So Macarthur were going to be really physical, and they were always first to the ball. I also knew Hills, Nepean, etc. The list goes on. But so I was able to forecast and anticipate what we could be coming up against, and because of that, we kind of played to those to what we needed. So for the first day, we needed to win those first two games. And then that would set us up. If we won the first two games or the first day, then I knew that we were going to make the top two. And then the second day or the third game, which was against Manly, we were able to tweak a few things, just to, I wouldn't say trial and test, but it was more around just getting some combinations right, etc. Unfortunately, that was the game that we were pumped. However, in saying that, it did give us some insights, and to be honest, it probably helped ground the girls because they were on such a high, right? There's such a high, so we were able to ground that. I was able to ground them, but again, it came back to me, letting them know that I still believe in you. We can do this. Just follow the process, etc. And then, they did it. 2
wins on the Tuesday, the first day, no goals conceded. You guys went for a team dinner, I believe. Were the girls stoked? Were they very happy after that?
Yeah, 100%. Like they loved the tournament at that time. They absolutely loved the tournament. These are girls that are coming from different clubs too, right? Like so part of the brief, going back to the beginning, part of the brief was, okay, I would like these certain players, but at the same time, I want a representation across as many clubs as possible, because it's good for the game and it's good for our area, for Central Coast football. So one of the challenges was obviously the girls didn't know each other. We had girls coming from the B grade as well, B and A, so it was an immersion of both. So one of the challenges was to try and get them connected as well, but also the different skill sets. But we we managed that, which is good. So when it came to the dinner time, it was just so lovely just to see the girls bond.
Yeah,
and
especially after a great
together.
day.
Yeah, 100%. They're doing each other's hair. They're using each other's lip gloss. It was so good.
And then the second day, lose to Manly 4-0. Obviously, you end up meeting them later. But that semi-final, how hard was it to get the girls going from that loss into what ended up being a win in penalties? How were the emotions through that? And was it a difficult task trying to get the girls up for that contest?
To be honest, it wasn't around trying to remotivate them. It was more around just following the process and giving them a sense of safety and belief that we can win this game. And just follow the process. Basically, we started really strong with the game. To be honest, we had most of the possession, so we dominated in possession. We dominated in the number of chances. Unfortunately, it didn't convert as much as I would like it to have done, but that's okay. It is what it is. But here's the factor, right? We had trained for pens. So I was quietly confident that we were going to be okay. And so, the girls did it. We had Lucy in goal. She did absolutely
amazing. She smashed it,
Yeah, 100%. And part of my brief as well, putting the team together, is I wanted goalies that had experience with penalties. And the only way you can do that really is through finals football. So finals football is similar to tournaments because it's all about knockouts. So luckily, many of the girls here on the coast are accustomed, or they've got a bit of experience in finals football, especially for our goalkeepers. So being able to just translate that into where we were on that day against, I think it was Northwest. Northwest. We did it. Yeah, so it was cool. It was very cool. It was lovely to watch, to be honest. For me, I would like to think I'm quite calm, and that's probably because I've been through it a number of times. It's just about being calm and just letting the girls know, just pick your spot. It doesn't matter if it doesn't
just
make it.
Yourselves.
Just pick your spot and don't change your mind. Your run up, make sure you do your run up exactly the same as what we've trained in our trainings, and then just do it. So they did that, and it unfolded the way that we needed it to. So it's good.
Most other groups, they had to play the semis on the Thursday to make the grand final that same day. You obviously had the luxury of playing the Wednesday, knowing your opposition coming into that next day, a rematch with Manly. What was the message to the players before kickoff of that grand final?
So I didn't want to change anything, to be honest, in terms of the way that we've been warming up and our team talks, etc. I wanted the process to be exactly the same. So we could have gone into the so throughout the tournament there were no changing rooms in terms of taking the girls away, doing our team talks, any tactical stuff in there. But on the final day, or for the actual grand final, you could. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to use the changing rooms because it's not something that we had done leading into it. I just wanted everything to be exactly the same so that the process was going to be the same. And that was key for me. And so when coming into that grand final, they warmed up as per usual. Steve, he's been wonderful. He's really good at expressing himself. And so I wanted him to take the team talks, etc. So he did exactly as he had been leading into this. And then so for me, it was just more around just being calm and just allowing the girls to go through the process, etc. And then at the same time, just before they went on, I gave them some really, really short cues, but really impactful ones. So it was like, make your 1v1s, you win them, you win your duels, and you if you lose the ball, you go get it back. Pretty much those two things. I was very strong on those two things.
The rest will take care of itself.
Exactly, because they had already done it, right, leading into this. So just do those two things and then we'll be fine. So they did it. They were first to the ball. that they were hungry, they were putting their bodies on the line. Tora led the way in the way that in terms of her physical presence, Mabes as well at the back, JT as well.
Yep.
All the girls really stepped up to make it known that they wanted this more. So
I spoke to JT before the game, right? Just got a quick interview with her as she was warming up, and to lose to a team 4-0 the day before, there didn't seem to be really any nerves. Like, it just seemed like the girls were relaxed and pumped and ready. It sort of almost knew like they knew they were going to win, right? It seemed like there was just a confidence within the squad, or at least in JT, which I suppose you want from your captain, that like they were going to go out there and take care of it, which they did. And what a game, what a result, right? It was close. It went down to the wire, but the girls got a 1-0 victory, and how good was that?
It was so good. Yeah, like in terms of the being pumped, like my approach is breaking down the game ahead of us. I don't tend to go back too much. I might touch on it on the day itself and straight after the game, but once the game and the team talk finishes after the game, that's it. That's for the coaches, for us to problem solve, etc. But in terms of being with the girls, I break down the game that's ahead of us. And so we focus on what's in front of us. So for the game itself, the grand final itself, it was the first 25 minutes. What do we have to do in the first 25 minutes? Half time, don't talk about the first 25, we go to the next 25. And it's just doing all the small things right in terms of what's ahead of us. And they did that.
And at full time, there was a special moment there. You, I think Steve and Kobe all shared a nice little hug. That was pretty special, right?
Oh, 100%. That probably represents just my gratitude, the gratitude for each other, what we had built together, the three of us. And it was just it was a beautiful moment with the boys. They had gone all in as well, and they put their trust into everything, and they put their trust in me, which is great. It was just nice as a collective for us three, but also for the girls and the parents as well, and for CCF as well. As a collective, it was a very beautiful and grateful moment.
Had you worked with Steve or knew of Steve before this tournament?
No.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, how that works out? But he's a good egg, though.
Steve is great. Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, totally. He's just he's got a really beautiful demeanour. He's and it seems like I tend to attract those sort of coaches as well. Mick from the Rams, he's exactly the same. I felt like the twins, that morphed them into one person. They're very smart. They love to problem solve. They've got a really beautiful demeanour, and they love to serve. So, it was lovely to have them.
And how was the playing group as a whole after that grand final win? Did you just get to share a special moment where some words were shared, or straight into the presentation?
It was more straight into the presentation, and to be honest, it was probably more afterwards when everyone left that we've connected, and we will probably reconnect in the next maybe month or two. I have at the moment right now, they've obviously gone back to their lives, and I've given them an exit strategy in terms of what they need to do coming off the tournament. So probably what are we now, a few days, so they'll be running on adrenaline at the moment, and then I suspect that they'll probably get a bit flat over the next
after coming
week
off
or
such
two.
a high,
and which could potentially lead to sickness, right? Because you go from a high and then you just go down into a dump. So just allowed them to, and with their families as well, just spoke about recovering, make sure they recover, sleep, hydrate, reflect as well, because they probably want to talk about it to someone. So reflect in a journal, reflect with a voice memo, and then go back to refocusing on a goal, whatever that may be within their clubs, etc. So that's just as important, to be honest, the exit strategy. So that's kind of where my focus has been with the girls, and then we'll probably reconnect later with a dinner or something.
Well, massive congratulations to you and to all of our Central Coast teams. to walk away with 2 grand final wins and to win association of the tournament is pretty special. The way the players and everyone conducted themselves was a really good representation of Central Coast football, which as an association we're extremely proud of. Yeah. Going back into more of your backstory, where did football sort of begin for you, and when did you sort of find this love for the game?
Funnily, I don't have anyone in my family that actually played soccer or football.
Yeah.
And I am of Māori, that's my ethnic background. So a majority of them play either rugby league, rugby, martial arts and that sort of thing. So, and I grew up in an area or there was a part of my life where I was in an area which was predominantly Caucasian. So many of the sports back then around that time was basketball, etc. So when I was 6 at a school called Wellborn Primary, there was this girl, her name was Vanessa, and I remember her in a school assembly. She rattled off a score, and I thought, oh, I want to play that sport. I didn't even know what it was, but I want to play that. So I remember going home to mum and said, I want to play this, and signed me up, and here we are. But funnily, when I did get to learn the sport, or when I did join, I remember getting a soccer ball or football, and I remember just being in the backyard morning to night and just learning how to kick it. I didn't know how to kick and stuff like that. It just kind of came naturally, and I just remember I wanted there was a wall that my dad put up, a fence, and I just remember all I wanted to do was just curve the ball into a certain spot, and it just came off naturally. So that was kind of like the beginning of my football career, whatever it is. Yeah.
Without having any family sort of involved in the sport, did you have any influences back then or was it just you just had a love for the game ever since you started?
Yeah, so I really liked the game at the time, and it's something that I could play.
Yeah.
My dad used to coach rugby league, so I was heavily influenced with rugby league, and the boys coming over. So that was kind of it. But in terms of watching the game, my parents did love watching the World Cup.
Okay.
So they've always supported Argentina.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of the way they played, they've always loved Maradona.
Yeah.
And so, that was kind of the exposure that I had when I was younger. It wasn't until I was probably around the 13, 14 that I got a little bit more educated around the game.
Yep.
It's been great ever since.
Do you have any favourite memories from playing as a kid that come to mind?
Probably just playing in the backyard, no shoes, it's cold.
Just so raw and so
that's
natural.
it. And just playing with the neighbours and just all the kids in the area, just getting together and just playing. Almost like, and it could be like a 10v20 or something like that. And then we would like finish off with a game of bull rush or something. And then the boys would smash me. But it was good memories.
And you're still playing to this day.
I am.
Yeah, still loving it.
The brain really it knows what it needs to do, but the body's
not keeping up as much.
Packing up a bit here and there.
When do you think you'll hang up the boots?
I've got some friends that have placed, in their 60s, 70s. If I can do that, big tick.
It's not any time soon.
Yeah, no, 100% not. Like, I'm still registered and I try and play as much as I can up. 35s, 6s, 4s. I'm still playing in ones with Toomsey's team. Phenomenal woman. It's been fun.
And what about coaching? Was that something you went into or something that you thought you'd want to lean into more?
I actually never wanted to be a coach.
No.
To be honest, it was not.
It's
something
funny. Like some people are like, I always knew I'd transition into that. Others are like, it just come apart, and then now it's stuck with me ever since. Right?
Yeah.
So did it just happen for you?
Pretty much. I didn't even want to do it. I always thought that I wanted to be the best player in the world.
Yep.
Football player, but. No, definitely not coaching. But there was there were a couple of chances. The first one was my daughter when she played, I think it was the under 6s.
Yep.
They needed someone, so I kind of stepped in and helped there.
Yep.
But it kind of really started when the East Gosford Girls needed a coach. I think they were around about 11, 12 at the time. And so they were desperate for someone, and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll just do it. That's
Yep.
fine. But we were meant to be. Me and these girls. I was a rubbish coach. I was so shit. But anyway,
Back in the day,
yeah, 100%. I was treating them like I was a player.
Yeah.
But obviously, I've evolved.
Yeah.
With various courses and time, etc. There's a big, huge difference between a coach of a team versus a player coach of a team. So, yeah, it's been great ever since, though.
When did the move to the coast happen? And have you always been at East Gosford? Was that just your local team and you just happened to stumble upon the Rams?
Yeah, I did. So funnily, I just saw this house. I was living in Monsman at the time, and I was just flicking through my phone, and I saw this house for sale, and I said to myself, "Oh, I'm buying that." So I didn't even know where Gosford was, but I just knew that I liked the house, and I did a little bit of research on the area, and
So you weren't too familiar with the coast at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, 2013, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Bought the place and then came up just not long after. And yeah, East Gosford was our local club.
Yep.
And yeah, haven't looked back since.
Yeah, been there ever since.
Yeah, it was just easy. It's like across the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun.
And daughters?
Yeah, the girls, they're playing football as well. So I've got one.
Three?
Two.
Two daughters?
Yeah, two girls. So one is playing at the Mariners and the under 14s. So with Carl and Kev.
Yeah.
Shout out to those fellas. They're such good eggs. They're so cool. And I can understand why my daughter loves playing with them. Just the environment that they've built over there. And then my oldest one, she's playing in Toomsey's team with the ones, and she's loving it. She's the netballer. Actually, her background is netball, and she's only come across not so long ago. But luckily, there's transferable skills, right? So she knows how to run the lines, etc. And she's got a hint of me of like competitive, bit of gangster. And
doesn't fall far from the tree.
She's quite mongrel, so she fights for the ball.
Coaching this year, you got the women's 16s and 18s, I believe. How the season's going?
Yeah, so I look after the women's youth comp programs. So that's the 13s to the 18s. I think they've got, I should know my numbers, 5 or 6 teams.
Yep.
And so I primarily look after the 18s. And they're doing great, like absolutely wonderful. I was actually reflecting just before coming here, and I heard a quote from Nolene Todema. She mentioned something about the teams are a reflection of you as a coach.
Yeah.
So when I look at the teams, they're fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Love a good 1v1, and they'll put everything on the line, which is pretty cool. From a development perspective, I mean, obviously in the youth space, it's more around development. The needs of the 13s versus the needs of the 18s, are different. So with the development from the early girls, it's more around, like learning the 1v1s and learning how to pass and finish, etc. And then with the 18s, it's more around preparing them for prems. So that means football intelligence, game management. If we're down, what do we need to do? If we're up, what do we need? How do we secure the game? And we also look at some tactical stuff in terms of like formations, etc. So it's really getting the girls on board with educating in terms of scenarios and etc. They have the base skills in terms of their technical, which is good. It's just getting their tactical intelligence up to speed. So yeah, they've been working really, really hard with that, working really, really well. I'm a lover of rondos. 100% love a rondo. So, just put the ball in this area and just rondo away, or back down into the goal area, just rondo away. So trying to implement and integrate that as much as possible throughout the whole program. And lots of touches on the ball, etc. So the program itself is working really well. We've got the right coaches as well for each of the teams. So we've got coaches, manager, and the coaches are qualified, which is good. So they've got a decent, they've got playing background, but they've got a decent baseline of educating and how to teach your principles and so forth. So, yeah, it's good.
And working with girls from under 13s to 18s, we see a lot of girls drop out at these ages. What do you do to sort of keep them involved in the game or keep them wanting to come back year after year? Does it come down to sort of the culture, do you think?
100%. That's a driving factor is culture. Like I said earlier, culture is about connection, and it's creating a space for the girls to belong. So if they feel like they belong there and if they feel safe and if they also feel they're in a space where they can express themselves, then we've got a higher chance of them wanting to stay. Obviously, it's not for everyone. There'll be girls that drop out for whatever reasons, but if we have something in place that are able to share those values, then it's definitely something that that will help with our girls. And saying that as well, obviously we have days where it rains and things get caught off. So it's really important to still keep the girls engaged in some sort of activity. So I'm really lucky I've networked and I've worked with some wonderful women across the coast, leaders in their fields. So I'm just going to shout out some names. So Grace Ellison, she's Muay Thai. She's part owner of Dynamis Muay Thai. So she's taken some sessions for our girls and the women's as well. She's an amazing lady. And then we've also got, who else? Lisa at Lotus Movement. She's taking classes for our girls as well in terms of gym sessions. We also have Molly at 5 Star who's taken, allowed us to use the pools for the girls. And then there's like Chrisella as well, Chrisella Fraser. She's netball background, but she's been in the background, quietly supporting us. So connecting the girls with these wonderful women, leaders in their field that are just supporting our girls and exposing our girls to different activities has been key for us as well. So yeah, it's been really, really cool.
Now, I would say you are a Ram by heart, but last year you were on the sidelines for Killarney's WPL. How did that come about and what was that experience like working with Hutto?
Yeah, good question. So Hutto and I have had known each other for maybe 2 or 3 years beforehand, and I've always felt connected with her. She's a phenomenal woman, and a phenomenal competitor as well. So I was really fortunate to have known her beforehand, and basically, we said, let's do this. I really want to do this with you in terms of taking the girls on, the Killarney girls on. And so for me to help support the campaign was a privilege. So they're such phenomenal women, honestly. The girls, Hutto has done such a great job at creating an environment for women, mothers, girls that have dropped out of the game to want to come back to play again, girls that have played competitively and who could potentially just, take time off, but they've chosen to come back. So she has created this beautiful environment for the girls to come in, still be competitive, but also to connect, etc. So I full kudos to her in terms of what she's done over at the club. At the same time, she has created an environment where there are girls that can lead as well. So girls that are stepping into a space of coaching. There's a few coaches there that have taken up the coaching, which is great. Because as a coach, for me especially, and for Hutto as well, it's not about just creating an environment, and it's not about just, teaching the girls how to play, etc. But it's also about who you bring on the journey with you, and she's done that. So she's created some leaders basically to help grow the game, and likewise with myself, I'm always conscious of making sure that we have others coming along on the journey, women and men as well, because I'm not going to be here for forever, obviously. So it's best for the game, and in terms of sustainability, that we have others come along as well. Yeah,
she's done an amazing job, obviously, and you can see the success that they're having last year and this year. When you look at the WPL space, she's the only female coach. Would you like to see more female represented in that space as coaching? Are you starting to see more, maybe through the junior ranks of females putting their hands up and getting on the sideline?
Yeah, good question. I definitely see more female coaches out there. I think there was one, Alison, up at Wyong. There's another at Wyoming. So they're starting to come along, which is great. I know Steve is coaching as well. So it's really cool. And we've got some coaches over at Rams that women and young women coaches like Izzy and Taylor. They've got the young girls and they're phenomenal as well. So it's just good that we're starting to get girls put up their hand to want to start doing it. So it's good.
And last year, grand final day, it was Killarney versus East Gosford. Did you feel conflicted at all?
No, not at all. Nope. No. It's all about winning. Yeah. As much as I love the girls and I love the club, etc., I get laser focused on the game itself and laser focused on the win. And that's probably something that I did with this tournament as well. I'm just so laser focused. I know exactly what I want and exactly what I need for the purpose of what we needed to achieve. So that, with the East Gosford and Killarney scenario, I was definitely keen for the win at the time.
When you look at East Gosford as a whole, I mean, their female program from top to bottom is one of the best we have on the coast. Where do you envision that going in the next few years?
We've been building for a number of years, to be honest. We just keep growing in the girls' space, and what actually does attract players as well as our results, as well as friends of friends. That's another key driving factor for retention is friendship. So I think Sun Super did a survey, and friendships was the number one driving factor for retention was friendships. Ensuring for the program, ensuring that we had created a space to allow that to happen and to flourish. I know that we're in a good, we've got something good, and that should help carry us through. So for me, it's probably more around the infrastructure and making sure that we've got the right people. We're still educating our coaches. We've got the right people in the execs doing their thing, and it's just making sure that we're all supporting each other as well. We are a divide and conquer type scenario where we all share responsibilities. Not only we've got Jess who looks after the women's program. I'm looking after the youth, the youth comp girls, and then we've got Lauren and Beck that are looking after the juniors. So we've always got someone to look after certain areas of the club, and as we keep growing, we'll just get more help. So I'm comfortable we're in a good space to help drive it, and I feel comfortable as well that if I'm to leave, that we've always got someone to take over. So
someone to step up. We usually go to social media, let people know you're coming on and sending questions. We didn't do that this week. However, your daughters have sent in some questions. The first one being, if you were an animal, what would you be and why?
I'm attracted to the lioness, probably, and I suspect that's probably a good representation of who I am.
Yep.
Fierce, sisterhood. I love
pack mentality.
Packed mentality. 100%. They, lionesses. They hunt together. They protect their young. They're fierce in everything they do. So those sort of characteristics actually resonate with me, and it's probably something that I embody, and I probably share in the field and in the coaching space as well.
Next question: what are some challenges you face, whether that be as a coach in a female space or outside of football? Is there any that come to mind?
Burnout. That's been probably top 2 of mine. Just taking on so much. Coaching is it's never stable. It's always a up and down thing for me. So some days if I don't take the rest that I should, then it will just overwhelm my nervous system.
Catch up to you.
Yeah, 100%. So that's been one challenge. Luckily, I have a therapist, and she's helped me through that for the last number of years, and I'm slowly learning. So the second thing is probably learning that people are always going to gossip. And basically it's just growing a thick skin. People are going to gossip and talk about you, and you know, growing up I've always wanted to always sought approval from my parents, etc. And so more recently probably I've learned that I can't control those sort of things.
You're not going to please everybody.
That's it, right? And again, my therapist has been really, really helpful. And shout out to Beck. She's helped me with these sort of things. And so yeah, it's those are the challenges. But luckily I've got the support to help me.
Yeah, I mean, having that support system is very crucial. I mean, mental health. It's such a thing that I feel like back in the day people sort of shied away from, but it's becoming more and more something that people talk about, and it's good to have someone to talk to or someone to lean on when you need it. So I think that's very important. The next question is, if you could make one football kit, what would it look like and what would the colours be?
Oh, I like this question. Lovely question. Yeah. This one's cool.
You chose pink as your background. Would there be some pink in that kit, you think?
Yeah, it would actually. So I like block colours, and I especially love white. I really like the white, the neutral colours. So it would probably be a full kit of white. You could probably just drop it in here, a couple of images. So white with blue trim, or a white with pink trim.
Yeah, nice.
Bit like Real Madrid, how they have the lines, etc. Yeah,
very subtle lines.
Oh yeah, so nice.
Yeah, very clean kit. If you could coach one World Cup team, what would it be and why?
It would definitely be an underdog team, I think. I love a comeback story.
Yeah.
Probably, I really like Mane. DJ's, he's Liverpool. He's a Scouse fan, and I've really liked Mane because of what he does for his community. So it would probably be maybe Senegal. Men or women, doesn't matter. I'll take them both.
And last one they want to know is, what's one piece of advice that you would like to give?
Self-regulate. Learn to self-regulate.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is it just brings calm and clarity in moments that's needed, especially in the coaching space. If the ref might make the wrong decision or a decision that you're unhappy about, you can either make there's two choices. You can either fire off or you can just regulate and stick with the task at hand. And it's just like driving too. If someone cuts you off, you can always go chase them and flick the bird or whatever.
What's the reaction going to be?
Or you can reframe the story. That it could be my mum just driving, or someone needs to get to the hospital, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think self-regulation for me is probably one of the biggest tools that has helped serve me. I meditate wherever I can, whenever I can. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 20 minutes. I go for walks as well, just to help get grounded, just by myself, which is fine. I'll sit in prayer as well. I have grown up with a Christian faith. And so, these sort of moments just help bring me back to my North Zone. my compass.
No, awesome. Thank you for sharing, and thanks to you girls for sending those questions in. What's it like seeing them play? Did you always want to push them to play football, or were you just happy with whatever made them happy?
Actually, I wanted them to play many sports.
Yeah.
They've always done martial arts. That's something that I've always driven.
Yep.
So one has always done BJJ.
Yep.
And then the other one has done Taekwondo. And then I do BJJ as well. Shout out to Ash and Leash. They're phenomenal women as well in terms of coaching the young women and the young girls. So I've done that, as well as basketball, netball, rugby. I try to get my young one to play rugby league as well, but she won't do it. She's more of a Mariners football girl, so that's cool. So to see the girls do multiple sports,
thrive in different environments.
100%. It's just so good for them. Just, making new friends, learning different skill sets, different skills, being coached by different people. They'll eventually come back. They're also horse riders as well. They like riding horses. So they'll eventually come back to the sports that will serve them at the time that it's needed for them throughout their life. So
one more closing questions. I've been doing this with a lot of my guests of late. Looking forward, what do you want your football journey to look like in maybe the next few years or next 5 to 10 years? Obviously, having worked with WPL program, do you want to be a W head coach, maybe even further? Is there something you have in mind?
So for me, it's probably more around, I still question what does my legacy look like from a football perspective. I would definitely coach as far as I can. I was talking to a friend of mine, Heather Garriock, and we just laugh at the fact that we're trying to encourage each other to coach even more. But there is the realization that we're both in business in the corporate space, so it's difficult to leave that right now. Maybe at another time we can, but right now my focus is in the next 6 months. So we've got it's finishing off the season, making sure that our girls are prepped for finals football, and I'm going back to study my native language as well. So my focus is kind of in the next 6 months, and then we'll see what happens in the next 12 months and so forth.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining on. Another congratulations for everything you achieved in Mudgee. I mean, your team, you represent you as well and you smashed it. So thank you very much and for coming on and sharing. Thanks very much. Let's take a look at our Premier League fixtures for the weekend ahead. Starting with our NPL competition where we have 3 Saturday night fixtures, including a top 4 match of the round between Terrigal and Berkeley. These 2 teams currently occupy 3rd and 4th positions, but are well in the race for league champions, so expect this one to be a hotly contested matchup when they meet at 7 p.m. at Mingara Athletics Oval. Killarney go head-to-head with the Rimba at Edzak Oval, 6 p.m, as the Terriers look to pick up crucial points against last-place Falcons, as Killarney hope to distance themselves from the relegation playoff at the end of the year. Last year's league champions look to snap out of their slump, as Mudgee are yet to record a single win in their last 3 fixtures. They are being hosted by their northern rivals Camels, and with kickoff scheduled for 7 p.m. at Wadalba on Saturday night, this will be another hotly contested contest. On Sunday, we see our 2 promoted teams in 2026 go head-to-head. Umina are in desperate need for 3 points if they have any hopes of playing finals in 2026, while the Dragons are in the same boat as Killarney and are in desperate need of points to remain in NPL in the following season. Our final game of the weekend sees the Tigers host the Lions. Wyoming are coming off a gutsy come-from-behind draw with Mudgee as they look to keep momentum rolling at home against league leaders Southern, who will be out to make a statement to the rest of the competition this weekend. We have an unbelievable match of the round fixture in our WPL going down Saturday night at Hilton Moore Oval. It's a top-of-the-table clash where East Gosford Rams face off against first-place Killarney. The Rams are the only team to take points off the Terriers this season, and with just 5 points separating the 2 teams, 3 points for the home side will go a long way in their hopes of finishing the year in first place. The remaining WPL fixtures take place on Sunday. Umina welcome the Reddies to Umina Oval as these 2 teams look to overcome big defeats from the previous weekend. So far, Umina has claimed their only 2 victories of the year are over the entrance and will be out to make it a clean sweep in front of a home crowd. The Roos and the Lionesses meet at Frost Reserve as Kincumber look to continue to build momentum in the back end of the season, while Southern look for answers to turn their season around and back on the right track. The The final fixture sees Terrigal at home against Camberwell. Terrigal are coming off their biggest win of the season and will be looking for back-to-back wins for just the third time this year. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Coast Football Weekly. As always, please remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We'll catch you next week for another episode.